Hi, thank you for taking a moment. Hope you listen. Hope you overlook the exterior, which I know is difficult for many because that's all you're about. Don't mean to disrespect, but need you to understand my purpose. My name is Sharina Mahasan Akil. I am the CEO to a kids youth organization for teenagers 14 and up who are living in blighted conditions or maybe in shelters or just in need. I don't care the income range, but I tend to be able to speak to those who are really down much easier than the ones that are sort of with money. And it's only because I don't bring any degrees and all that paperwork with me, but please understand what I do is legit because I raised 5 children, and those 5 now gave me 6 grandchildren. But people, I have a lot of children, a lot. I got a lot of grandbabies too, or shall I say I have a lot of grandbabies. Listen, I don't want to go there. Anyway, I'm just trying to legitimate my position and what I'm about to say. I am not professional. I am not trying to come off as professional. I don't have a dime. Um, the organization that is mine, I do get some money here or there, but it's such small money, it's hard to do anything. But anyway, I'm here to speak on a show called SVU, Special Victims Unit, starring Marissa Hartigay, which I understand she's also, I think, producing. You bad, girl. You bad to the bone. I admire you. Um, but this is about season 17 and episode 12. And let me applaud you all for lasting so long. I love cop shows. The reason I like cop shows because I like believing that sooner or later devilment will come to an end. So looking at cop shows shows me that, even though I know it's fictional, because real life cops, they're not dedicated like that. It might be 1 or 2, but they don't care. How I know that? Driving to the lower income communities, you see cops everywhere. Then why do they have more crime than any other community where you see a cop or 2 here or there? Right. Anyway, the what I took as the title for this episode is a murky date rape. A murky date rape. And what it was 2 very good high school students. One just entering high school, the other one on his way out. So him being 18 and her being what, 14, about 15. Okay, I think that's correct. It's been a while since I've dealt with the ages in schools because my oldest is almost 38. My baby is 34. Yeah. Anyway, it was 2 really innocent young kids. And the problem came in because this secret group in the school, if you were a member of it, you had to have sex with a virgin. So the young girl was impressed. Come on, she's a freshman. Senior interested in her. Whoa. His whole target was to take her down and then brag about it on a wall that they had behind the founder's portrait in the library. And whatever was put there permanently. So he was wrong. His intentions were wrong. She was innocent. But neither one of the attorneys, the DA or the defendant attorney, addressed the fact that she was innocent and she wasn't bothering him. He started it all. Anyway, my point is they call it a murky date rape because they had been drinking. She didn't tell the part that he gave her something to drink out of a flask. And what do we know flasks to hold? I don't know about people carrying juice in no flask. I would have brought that up. So that means he was preparing her for what they were going to do. Because he'd been told, because he was innocent too, he'd been told that they could, that's what that do. Make the girls want them. He jumped the gun. He didn't even let the stuff. Anyway, my point is this. The reason it was called a murky date rape is because she took pictures with him that he posted on internet. And it really looked like she was into it just as much as he was. But she thought she was just getting this young man to like her. So my point, or my question to mothers, or let me say parents, because whether you're with the father or not, whether you're with the mother or not, children are still your responsibility. Now, the wealthy amongst us who hire these nannies, governesses, do you spend time talking to your kids? Because looking at these shows, and I know they claim they're fiction, but they're getting it from somewhere in life. Because I've heard news stories regarding it. Anyway, I'm trying to be short. I got a lot to say. At the end, right before the jury came in with their decision, Miss Hartigay went in to Olivia in the show. She went in to talk to Barbara. And by the way, Barbara, you got down. I like that. I was hoping since they brought up the alcohol, I was hoping you would use that. But that's okay because she didn't mention it. She felt bad. He felt bad. The parents, this was the parents' war. And that's what's wrong with our children, people. Parents, you're not parenting correctly for your children to even be carrying on like that. There's a show I've been watching. I just stumbled upon it one day. But it's old, and it's on the Up Network here in Atlanta. And it's called Seventh Heaven. Awesome, 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 awesome as far as wholeness of human beings. They talk about problems and issues, and they're serious. They're very serious, and they make you want to be a part of a community like that if you're like me and tired of the BS. Anyway, I'm sorry. A date rape is murky only because you're trying to prove who is innocent and who isn't, who's telling the truth and who isn't, when basically they're just kids being mischievous. That's all they are. We got to stop blaming these children because they're imitating us. It's not their fault. Children learn what they live. That boy and that girl were totally innocent. They probably would have made a nice couple. His family was wealthy, but her family wasn't looking like they were in poverty either. Two young kids messed up their lives because the parents wanted to fight it out in court to prove their child wrong. They were both wrong. Truthfully, they were both wrong. But he was totally out of order because she did say, stop, slow it down. That's what she said, slow it down. She told him she didn't want him to go there. He was close to his goal. And that proves that, I tell young people all the time, when you see your goal in range, do not break your stride. When you break your stride, stuff happens. And he broke his stride. He didn't get there. So he had to go lie to his friends because he was with her. Didn't get there. And then he messed up her clothes and she wanted no part of him. People, why are children doing stuff like this? You know what I tell young people? If you got to sneak and do it, it's wrong. You know it. I know it. You're trying to be an adult. Let me tell you something, young people. The adult world, it is not all that glitz and glamour. It ain't nothing but a bunch of stress, pretense, and lies today. Before parents were real life parents, kids were real life kids. Now, lines are crossing all over the place, and we need the government to draw these lines. No, you need people to stand up and be parents. Nobody wants to listen to me. No one wants to talk to me. No one wants to help me, but yet and still, you should. Seventh heaven, you know what they had over me? They had a church backing them up, paying him a salary while he ministered to the community, because that's what church is supposed to be about doing. These preachers today, you can barely get a conversation with them. They got all these people in line in front of them. Really, people? That's what a minister is about? You got to make an appointment to see a minister? Wow. Then where are his associate ministers, pastors, or whatever, like on Seventh Heaven? Brenda, whoever wrote that show, where are you? Why would you not try that or continue that? Bring it back. They bring it back some other stupid stuff. We need wholesome shows. We got to raise our children, people. That's not wrong with these children. Lack of parenting. And if you travel to the impoverished areas, you will see what's called a cycle of teen parenting, which means they haven't been parental units for generations. You want to change the world? Stop worrying about the adults. They're going to do what they do. Let's focus on the young people. Let's show them what life really is about. Help me. I'd rather still just help the kids. You ain't got to help me. I'm all right. I'll be 60 years old, God willing, come April. 60. Boy, I would love to just stay in my little corner of the world. And trust me, it's humble. Very humble. I've been harassed, and I can't even get the law to help me. Hello? I say that's related back to when my children were injured at Thera High School and the Board of Education gave them a bad reputation. Couldn't get nobody to represent me. I ain't have no money to fight the Board of Education, the city of Atlanta. D.A. Paul Howard has shown me he can't stand me. The judge that was over the pretrial of my daughter and the young girl that slashed her in her face, let that young girl bring a coat into the courtroom that she had slashed herself. But guess what? I can't prove that, but guess what? She was put on a school bus by the assistant principal. And the assistant principal told the driver to drive off with her, just her on the bus, after he helped her cut my baby in her face 5 times with a razor. But when they go to court, they let that girl bring in the perpetrator. She brought in her coat that she took from the scene of the crime, and the judge allowed it in. So that whole scene was deep, and guess what? I'm still dealing with ramifications. Why? No one bothered to apologize for it. I went to WSB, at first I went to Monica Kaufman right after she retired. She referred me to a Mr. Mike Drieden. Said he was the one to speak to make corrections. They both said it had been a long time ago. I literally had to show up and with the risk of him having me thrown out just to speak with him, because in writing him, emailing him, no response. Well, at first he did. He said he would love to talk to me, but then I didn't hear from him no more, and I pressed it, and I told him I wanted an apology, and I wanted him to do something like where they are and where are they now. Anyway, my whole point in this is the reason it was a murky date rape. People, you're not teaching the children. You're letting them grow on their own because you start them in pre-K on the path of so-called intelligence because you want an Einstein, right? You want this brainiac. Children come here for a reason, and it's not yours. One, because your world is small compared to where he came or she came from. We gotta let them be children first. They can figure it out once we let them grow up and guide them and counsel them. The man on Seventh Heaven, he and his wife do a wonderful job. She's a baby, but housewives usually are. They pout to get what they want. Most housewives, not all. Some of them are pretty cool. But anyway, people, me and my family are different. Sometimes I love to watch TV, but I don't like to watch TV. I don't like those darn commercials. I hate commercials. And not because I hate commercials. I don't like the commercials about the medicines and the illnesses and you're going to be great. Got these people walking around like it's all good. But then you hear these little, and side effects are death and all that other. What? I don't want to hear that. So that's the reason I record my shows and zip through the commercials because I hate that. And people who got really nice commercials that's about really, you should really not want to patronize TV shows that have all that medicine crap on there. Because I thought a doctor's supposed to be the one know about medicines and stuff. And doctor's supposed to say, well, you got this, try this. You know what I'm saying? Y'all letting pharmaceuticals and doctors do too much. And that's another reason why I don't know if I think I need to see a doctor. But guess what? I don't want to see no doctor. Not unless I absolutely have to. I'll deal with it because I don't like them. And not all of them. There's a few out there I'm crazy about. It's one I really miss. So a lot of them I'd be like, what? Okay, so you think I'm crazy? You know in Seventh Heaven where they start taking in kids? There was a man and a wife who had raised theirs or was still raising theirs. Y'all, I did it by myself after leaving an abusive relationship. My children turned 14, 15. They brought friends in our home that didn't have no place to stay, and they thought they had it going on. So in thinking so, they asked me, Ma, they have no place to stay. And guess what? I was disabled. I was on my back the majority of the time. But I did the same thing they did. I fed them. They didn't have it as nice as that. They didn't have a whole room. Some of them slept on the floor. But they had a roof and they got food. But they had to go back to school. They had to apply themselves. No, I didn't pressure them to go to college. But I did help them understand that they had to be responsible. We used to go to movies and come back and talk about it. We were a family unit. I was called Mom. I was called Auntie. I was called Uti. I was called Miss Akil. T.I. came through, to my understanding, from my kids. I wasn't there then. I left my kids as they became, I had 19, 18, I left them. Why? I didn't get no complaints from the community. They knew. Actually, my baby boy gave himself a party that I knew nothing about. When I found out about it, I talked to my neighbors. You know what they said? Oh, yeah, we knew they were there. They had a party. She said, now many of them said nothing happened. They were just kids. Hello. I did that by myself. Yes. And you don't want to deal with me because I don't have no degrees? Please. The murky date rate. All we have to do is talk to our children. If you don't have time, call me. I don't charge nothing. It'll be nice for you to donate, but I don't charge nothing. I'm here to help the children. If you need me, and I'm going to be their friend. And people, please understand, I'm a parent to the highest power. I don't have no appetites for, I was trying to put a thing on a website for people advertising themselves, I'd forgotten the name of it, but they denied me because my target audience, when they asked me my target audience, I said young people they denied me. They said they could, and that's the law. So I'm telling you, I'm putting this on both of my websites, and I'm going to put it on YouTube. I'm telling you, please, if your children are showing you the slightest of anything, just call me. We can talk. Let me talk to them. I don't tell them nothing. I guide. I let them hear what they say. And after they after they say what they say, if I hear them start to repeat themselves, then I go back over. Okay, you said this. What do you mean? And we discuss until we get an understanding that helps them to look in a brighter way. Another thing is teaching children to think on their own. This peer pressure thing would not be as strong if we were focusing them on not being followers, but being leaders. Now, of course, we can't all be captains, but if you're going to follow, make sure you're following a genuine leader, a real leader, somebody that's about doing the right thing, somebody that's about improving their lives. Not someone out there doing things you don't want them to do. And as far as the kids in the low-income communities who join gangs because you're afraid, and I know that's what the majority of y'all doing. I got a young man right now. We worked hard and diligent with this young man. Got him into college. He had to earn his way into college. I mean, earn his way. And we got so much support for him. He even got there and became very close with the dean. But one of his former gang members, to my understanding, was there, and I don't know what happened. He knew it was wrong. Now he's doing 6 years, and he pleaded out. Young people need guiding. Once they become 13, 14, they're not ready to make decisions. That's the age level where they're actually about to figure out what type of adult they really want to be. The main thing should be a productive one, respecting the law, etc., etc. But if they want to go against the law, why? Because the nature of a child is to get attention and learn and be disciplined. Kids act out because that's the way they were brought up. They got attention through acting out. People, what are you going to do with the babies? What are you going to do about them? When you develop intelligence, you can disrespect it. And just as with an adult, you disrespect a person's level of intelligence, then you have to deal with them. So we really want that for our little babies. Really. I think the little girl on Seventh Heaven, Ruthie, whew, that little girl is so smart, highly intelligent, and sometimes it's offensive to the mom. When you awaken the intelligence of a child too soon, you create problems. I guess I'll be back, especially if I get hits. If I don't, it's all good. Peace. I know it's long. Peace.